So, we really are in amazing times now, coming up, preparing for this holy night, the night of Pesach. And it's a very, very strange situation where people are not even able to go and leave their houses. Reb Chaim Kanievsky paskened that there's no minyanim outside anymore. It's a strange time. But you know what? Pesach has always been a time for people to be joined together. It's always been a time for families. This is what Hashem seems to be telling us. He seems to be telling us that we need to be focused on our families once again. Instead of being interested in the wider community, let's focus on our children. Let's focus on our wives. Let's focus on those that are closest to us. This is obviously what Hashem wants for us. I heard an amazing idea that they say Reb Elimelech from Lezhinsk was once in prison with his brother, Reb Zusha from Anipoli. And there was a bucket of refuse in the room. And therefore, they were not able to pray. As we know, the halacha is, if there's a bad smell, it's not an appropriate environment to go and be praying in. Reb Elimelech burst into tears at the thought of not being able to daven mincha. But his brother, Reb Zusha, reminded him, just like you are fulfilling God's will when you are praying in the minyan, you are also fulfilling God's will when the situation is that you cannot pray with a minyan, or you cannot pray, in this case, by yourself. And they got up and they began to dance. And even the non-Jewish inmates with them began to dance with them, and they formed a circle and they were dancing. The wardens came inside and they said, "What's going on?" And they told them the commotion is all over the bucket of refuse. So they said, well, if the Jews are dancing because of the bucket of refuse, let's get it out the room. And they took it out the room. And then, of course, Reb Elimelech and Reb Zusha were able to daven. We're going through a tough time now, but it's obvious that this is a time that Hashem wants us to focus on our families. He wants us to focus on our loved ones. Let's take our opportunities. It says in Mishlei, Perek Yud Ches, Pasuk Yud Daled, it says, Ish ruach yechalkel machalehu. It says, a man's mood affects, it feeds his sickness. And says the Vilna Gaon, if a person is besimcha, then they will actually make their sickness better. It says, the simcha yivat lena, the simcha will annul it. So let's try and be happy in whatever situation we're in. And then please God, we'll come into this holy night of Pesach, truly besimcha, much closer to our families. And who knows, maybe that will bring Mashiach speedily in our days. Amen.